So here we come to the IGCSE Mathematics Paper 4, Specimen Paper 2020 again. So it's question 2A. It's about the cumulative frequency diagram. So first of all, you need to know that we need to make sure that this one is equal to the total. Okay, so normally it's the same, but you need to check this very carefully. So first of all, we want to find the median thing. So you can treat it like this way. So median, also known as the Q2, it is set between the lowest and the highest, in the middle of them, something here. So we need to find where is it. So it is from the total times the 50%. So it should be equal to the 100th. It should be set to the 100th, and then we find the 100 here, and then we draw a horizontal line from the 100, and then we touch the graph, and we can draw a vertical line downwards, and then we can have the median. So the median Q2 will be 400. Okay, so that's part 1. And then for part 2, we want to find the interquartile range. So we need to first find the upper quartile, that's Q3, and also the lower quartile, that's Q1. And you can look at this line again. So suppose it is the lowest here, and then the highest, the middle one will be the median, that's Q2. And the Q3, the upper quartile, is in between the Q2 and the highest one. Alright, and the Q1 is in between the lowest one and the Q2, the median. Yeah, and because Q2 is 50% and the ultimate is 100%, so Q3 must be in between them, so it should be 75%. And then the first one is 0%, and then the Q1 should be in between the 0% and the 50%, so it should be 25%. So for the Q3, the position should be 200 times the total times the 75%, so it should be 150. Alright, so we find it again. I find the 150 line here, and then we add a horizontal line like this until we touch the curves, and then we can add the vertical line down there, and then we can get the Q3. It should be, you can see the Q3 should be 420 is the Q3, and then for the Q1 we can have the position is 200 times the 25%, so it should be the 50th, yeah, like this. And then we find the 50th again right here, and then we add a horizontal line. So again, when the horizontal line touch the curve, we can have a vertical line downwards, and then we'll get the Q1. It should be the 350. So the Q1 is 350. So, but we want to have the interquartile range, the range. So it should be the Q3 minus the Q1. So actually here we should have 70 as the final answer for the part A2. And here we comes to A3, that's the 60th percentile. And for percentile, it's much easier. And we will use the P60 to represent it. And we just find the position first. It should be 200 times the 60%. Alright, so we find the position, it should be the 120th. And then we find it again, 120th is here. And again, we add a horizontal line. Again, when we touch the curves, we can have the vertical line downwards. So this term is slightly less than, I just see that it's slightly less than the 410. So this one here, it should be the P60. So it should be something less than 410. So but I first used the 410 when I did it. And for the marking scheme, it is allowed to have 405 to 410. Alright, so you can have anything in between this. So for the part 4 here, we want to do something reversely. Alright, so it's greater than 300 cubic meters. So we need to use this number. And for this number is come from here. So we start from here. And then this time we draw the vertical line first. And again, when we touch the curves, we can draw a horizontal line, horizontal line backward, right, to the y-axis. That's the cumulative frequency. Also, it should be something near to the 30, I think. So what does the 30th here mean? The 30 here mean? It means the 30th, like maybe I'll draw here. The 30th student is having the 300 cubic meters. Okay, so from the very first to the 30th students, they are having less than or equal to 300 cubic meters. And for the remaining thing, for the remaining these numbers of students, they are having more than 300 cubic meters. So it should be the 200, the total, 200, and then minus the 30. So it should be 170 students that have more than 300 cubic meters. So here we come to question 2b, part 1 is asking about the mean for the grouped data. So first of all, the formula for this should be the summation. Summation means adding all up. And for the frequency times the values of the data, right? And then we add them all up and then divide it by the summation of all the frequency, okay? But before we do this, we need to have the x value for each group, right? So for this group, we need to have one value to represent them. So what we need here, we should use the average. So it should be 20 plus 60 divided by 2. So it should be 40. So similarly, we will have the here for this group, the blue group will be the 60 plus 100 divided by 2. So it should be 80. And then the green group will be like this. To save some time, we have the green group and then the yellow group. So we have each group, we have a representation x, and then we can just multiply these two values and then add them all up, or these two multiply them, and these two multiply them. So we will have the numerator like this, okay? And then for the denominator is the frequency, add them all up. So it's these four numbers, but these four numbers must be add up to 200, the total number. So you can just divide it by the total. All right, so and then you use your calculator and you will get 106. That's it. So here we come to the histogram or the B2. So for this histogram thing, you need to figure out what is the frequency density. So the frequency density can be calculated by the frequency divided by the size of the range. For example, for the red thing here, so the frequency for this one should be the 32 divided by the range. The range is 60 minus 20. It's from 20 to 60, so the range should be minus them like this, and you using your calculator you will have 0.8. And then one more example, for example, for the blue one, the frequency density should be the 64, the frequency divided by the range, so it's 100 minus the 60. Using the calculator you will get 1.6. Okay, similarly we will have the green thing, the density, the frequency density will be equal to 1.6, and the yellow thing will be 0.24. And you can check for the yellow thing, it is similar to the or slightly equal to the 0.24. And then this is the height for each bar, and then we can just draw it. Make sure you know, this is from 20 to 60 for the red bar. So we start from here. So make sure you use the ruler, but here I don't use it, like this. 620 should be something here, and then 60 we should end here, and the height is 0.8, so it should be something like this, and using the ruler. And then for the blue one should be something from the 60 to 100, so it's end here. It is 1.6, so it's 1.2, 1.4, 1.6 like this. And then for the green one, it should be the from 100 to the 150. So still the same height, 1.6, so it's something like this. All right, and before we go, there's something very tricky, very important for the histogram. All right, they should be all the bars should be linked together. All right, One more thing. Actually, under the area of each bar, for example, like this one, you can calculate the area of this is equal to the frequency. Or for example, like this, just like 60 to 20 to 60, right? So it should be 40. And then for this, for the height, it should be 0.8, right? So multiply these two together, you can get 32. And actually, this is the frequency for the red thing. All right, just one tiny thing. That's it. So we come to the question 2b, part 3. That is talking about the probability of combined events. That's one event followed by the other one, or more than one events followed. And then let's see the situation. Two students are chosen from more than 100 meters square or only. So for the first group, this group and that group is not considered. The pool is just these two groups. Alright. So the denominator must be these two add them up. Alright. The 80 plus the 24. And then what probability we want to find is that one of them is greater than 150. So one of them is this. Oh, sorry, greater than 150. So this one is from this group, and then the other one is 150 or less. So another one is choosing from this group, right? The green one. Okay. So let's see. But we need to think about the situation because we are having first one event and then followed by the other event. So we need to think about the sequence, or which one first and which one is later. So we need to think about the first probability that we have the first one that is larger than 150, and then the second one is less than or equal to 150, like this. So if you think about this way, we will have first, or remember, for the denominator, it must be the total of the pool. So it is the 80 plus 24. So it's 104, like this. And we want to have the first one is more than 150, so it should be 24. But the next one, when we take this out, the pool will be -1 because we take one out already from the red pool here. So we need to change the denominator for the next fraction to 103. Right? And then we want to find someone is less than 150. That's from the blue group. From the green group. So it should be 80. So something like this. This is the first situation that satisfies our probability. But there is also one other situation. That's for the first one is less than or equal to 150, and then the second one is more than 150. This one is still valid. Okay, so what we will have for this one is still 104, but we have the green group first, so it should be the 80 first, and then multiplied by the 103 because we take someone out from the red pool, and then the remaining thing will be 24 from the blue group. So actually you can just add these two value up, or if you can see that these two, the value is the same, or just the sequence is different. So actually you can just having this or calculate one and multiply by 2, you can still got the answer. So the final answer should be 480 divided by 1339, like this, using your calculator to simplify it, remember, like this. The end.